You're listening to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, giving you an in-depth look at Missouri Western athletics with interviews, features, game broadcasts, and more. Here's your host, Tommy Rezac.
Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, another special edition as we welcome another new basketball coach to Missouri Western State University, this time women's basketball, the 11th head coach in our program's history, Luke Scheidecker, who is no stranger to women's basketball. Certainly for the last 7 years, he's had great success at Wabash Valley College in Mount Carmel, Illinois, where he's also served as the athletic director and has accumulated 230 wins in those 7 years, putting up a lot of points in that time. And Luke, we can get to more of your background in a minute, but first and foremost, welcome to Griff Nation. Glad to have you.
Man, can't tell you how excited I am to be here. Lots of big things in store for the future, and we couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, and of course we can get into some of the things that Wabash has done in your time there. But I guess first and foremost, you've got a plethora of experience as an assistant at the Division I level, of course, a head coach at the JUCO level. It's my understanding that you had an interest in this job, I think, the year before. Why Missouri Western and why now?
Yeah, I'm originally from the area. I grew up in Smithville, attended high school in Smithville, so incredibly familiar with Missouri Western and the tradition and history there. It's a great place. When it opened, there's familiarity with the program. My wife actually coached there under Candi Whitaker, so I knew quite a bit about it from her experience there. And, felt like it was a place where they cared about it. They're invested in it, in a great conference. I mean, one of the best conferences in the country. It's a great job. It's a place we can come win national championships, compete at a high level. And there's a lot of great things about the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at your time at Wabash from 2016 to 2018, and then again from 2020 until here in 2025. And a lot of numbers, a lot of wins, but certainly a lot of points. Your time at Wabash, your teams have averaged 92.9 points per game, but just over the last 3 seasons, your teams are averaging 98.6 points per contest, 101 points per game a couple of years ago. We've seen some high-flying offenses here at Missouri Western, but what goes into that, and what goes into that strategy and philosophy as a coach?
Yeah, so a lot of people we look at the numbers on offense, be like, man, that's incredible. It starts defensively. We want to get in your face and pressure you 94 feet and make it a long 40 minutes of basketball. We want to create turnovers and then play in transition. Make or miss, we're going to run. At some point, we feel like it's going to wear you down, and we're going to execute in the half court if we get caught in the half court. But we want to score in the first 7-8 seconds. A lot of people talk about it. We do it every day. And that's what translates to games, is just the pace that we want to play at, which requires being in great shape. And, recruiting players are going to fit that system as well.
Now, at the time of this taping of this episode, Wabash Valley College competing in the JUCO National Tournament in Casper, Wyoming, entering the second round with a record of 30-2, 17 straight wins, and Coach Scheidecker part of 6 national tournament appearances, 6 conference titles at Wabash. In terms of recruiting, obviously you've sent, I think I read, over 35 people to 4-year institutions at the NCAA level. Obviously, opens the question of recruiting. Now, obviously, we've gone through a change here and have had current members of our roster hit the portal. That is the era we live in. And I'm sure there's going to be a handful of players on your team that may be interested in following you here. I guess when it comes to just recruiting and putting these pieces together, what does that process look like for you?
Yeah, we live in a new world in college athletics. Luckily for me this year, this new world has been my year every year. We have to sign 10, 11, 12 players. Ideally, you don't want to do that, right? But that's the landscape it is right now. Coming into a situation where some players hit the portal, right, we're going to hit the ground running, be active, selling the vision, selling the success previously and the success we're going to have moving forward. There's a lot of great selling points about Missouri Western, the league, and opportunities to win at a high level.
Hey, you've been an assistant at the Division I level, Southern Illinois and Indiana State in a couple of different roles, but now you've been a coach and an administrator at the JUCO level. I know you have familiarity with Division II in this league, but I don't know, what is the biggest adjustment or change going into the Division II level, having kind of been on either side of the spectrum?
Yeah, I think when you look at moving into Division II, I think especially the MIAA, you're looking at some of the best coaches in the country, regardless of level. So it's going to be every night you're going to play a good coach, with really good players. You look at the success every year. The Central Region has, sending some of the Final Four, winning a national championship. So, that's going to be one of the big things. But we also want to be different than the rest of the league. The rest of the league is a little bit slower pace, where we're going to recruit to play at a faster pace. It'll be interesting to see how those mix. I know Coach Whitaker and I know Ashton before. They both kind of did the same thing. So we kind of look to carry that tradition moving forward as well.
You talk about Candi Whitaker, Ashton Feldhouse. This is the program that's been female-led since 2019 in a league that has an increasing number of female head coaches in it. I guess, what I'm always kind of curious, softball's kind of the same way, right? Or lacrosse, that this is a sport where men and women are coaching it. What is that biggest adjustment inheriting a team that has been, led by a female head coach for the last 6 years?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is building those strong relationships with the current players and the players coming in. If you're invested in them and their future, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. They want someone who cares, who's invested in them, and is going to love them for who they are. That's what we're going to do. We're going to treat people right. We're going to care for them. We're going to give them a great opportunity. They're going to have fun, right? I've never had a player leave my program and said, "Man, I had to have a blast playing for Luke." So, that's the biggest thing, is build relationships and genuine relationships that move forward, and great things will come from that.
You mentioned your wife, Tori. As I understand it, y'all tied the knot this past September, so congratulations on that. But a little ways before that, Tori was a grad assistant here at Missouri Western under Candi Whitaker in the first 2 years of her era. Kind of an interesting time, right? A part of a 20-win season in Candi's first year. Then the pandemic hits, and she was a grad assistant on a very freshman-heavy team that ended up winning only 6 games. So she's seen the highs and lows here. I guess, what have the conversations been like with Tori, and what are her memories of Candi and St. Joe and Missouri Western?
Yeah, she loved her time there, and that's kind of one of the big things that drew us to the job as well, was the time she had there. The support from the administration, just Griff Nation in general, how they come to games and different things like that. We were in a great spot at Wabash Valley. We had tremendous success. We weren't looking to move unless it was the right opportunity, and this was the right opportunity. A place where we felt like we'd come in and win right away. And Tori loved her time there, and there's great people there. There's still a lot of the same people there as well, and she's excited to get back and see everybody.
Yeah, having been here, this is my 4th season here, and it's amazing that there's a lot of people that were here long before me, and then at the same time, there's been a lot of new and very bright, interesting people that come through here, and that's kind of the beauty of small college sports, isn't it? Maybe it's a launching pad for some, but for others, they find a home here in Division II. Well, I guess really my last thing, Luke, women's basketball, we've seen it grow exponentially these last few years, figures like Caitlin Clark and the like, and ratings going up. And I think this is a women's basketball town. We've hosted the Division II Elite Eight. I think it's like 6 or 7 times at Civic Arena, the national championship game being played here. To be coming to a market that is supportive of this sport at a time when women's basketball is seeing unprecedented growth, I mean, that's got to fuel the excitement quite a bit too, right?
Oh, no doubt. When you can go to a place that loves it and is going to support it, that's a huge selling point in recruiting. We're going to win, and we're going to have great kids who the community is going to love. And we're going to continue to grow the fan base. Women's basketball is, like you said, growing exponentially, and we want to do that in St. Joe as well. But not just St. Joe, the surrounding communities as well. You look at the Savannahs. Get people up from Smithville to watch. Building that community, with great student athletes and continuing to grow the game. That's what it's all about. Everyone likes to play in front of a full arena. So we plan to pack it out.
Yeah. Obviously, your track record speaks for itself, upwards of 30 wins a year and all the national tournaments and things you've done at Wabash. And this is a program that has enjoyed, somewhat similar success in that period of time, 5 20-win seasons in 6 years, and now 3 NCAA tournament bids the last 4. How much do you embrace kind of the pressure and the expectation? Like, I remember when Ashton was hired, the whole message was, we're not dropping off, we're keeping it moving. And to her credit, an NCAA tournament bid with a roster of 10 players. So just knowing what the recent history here, how do you kind of embrace that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think being in a great spot where you've got the target on your back is fun. I like teams that have a competitive edge to them. And, when you're kind of the hunted, I think that's always a fun thing to be. We want to get kids who want to have high success, who want to win championships. And to do that, you got to be good. And people will recognize you're good. And, people every night, you got to show up, play, especially in such a great league. So, we embrace the, success and, look to continue that moving forward.
And Missouri Western is, a long time, it goes back to the mid-90s. That's kind of when this program was first put on the map. And really, thanks to people like Rob Edmondson, Candi Whitaker, Ashton Feldhouse, and all the great players that have come through here. It's like, you think of meccas in this league in women's basketball. You might think of Dave Slifer, Central Missouri, Tony Hobson, Talia Cars at Fort Hays State, but Missouri Western has put themselves right in that conversation with the regional title 3 years ago, and of course the MIAA championship in 2024. A strong tradition here over several decades, and the Griffins look to carry it on. Now entering a new era with Luke Scheidecker as the 11th head coach in program history. Luke, great to meet. This is my first time talking to you, and very impressed by you on paper and just hearing from you, and just excited. We got a new men's basketball era starting as well, so we got a long ways to go. But man, I'm looking forward to November, as I'm sure you are.
Hey, exactly. We can't wait to get there and meet everyone, and it's a great day to be a Griff.